Hey guys, this is a new affiliate thing. So yeah, go to razor.com for more for gear, for mobile stuff like games and stuff. So yeah, go to my affiliate link down below and you could get it. Yeah, and yeah, go there. Why not? Get PCs, consoles, mobile chairs, whatever you want. So yeah, hope you guys like it and see you later in the video. Here's also the QR code for this if you guys want to scan it or anything. Yeah, it'll send you right there if you're able to scan it. And yeah, oh yeah, guys, like and subscribe and hit my intro.
Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path. If you want it bad, I'm gonna show you where it's at. Yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done. I'll be number one. Working hella hard until I get just what I want. Yeah, rise just like the sun. Yeah, fatal like a gun. Shooters gonna shoot and I'm gonna shoot until I fall.
Yeah, so guys, like and subscribe. Go to my Discord link in the description below and let's get into the video. Before we get into this, guys, shout out to this fanfic guy. His name is Secure Zone Icon. I will repeat to you. Secure Zone Icon. I will not put it in the description below. So if you like him, type in, the fanfiction thing, Secure Zone Icon. And so, let's get into it. A 5-year-old blonde-haired hissed in pain as he moved through the dark forest. Naruto Uzumaki heard his stomach roar. Today was his birthday, or as he called it, the most hated date of the year. His muscles ached from the lack of energy. He swung his fist into a tree and immediately hissed in pain. "Why is it always me?" the child hissed. "Aren't you a little young to be out here alone?" Naruto looked at the old man in front of him. He wore a red, faded vest and jean shorts. On the top of his head was a worn-out straw hat. His skin was wrinkled and his once pitched black hair. And then he says, "Oh, and my name is Monkey D. Luffy," he introduced himself. Naruto looked at the man's eyes, and he seen nothing but concern for him. "I have to hide," Naruto whispered. His skin was pale from fear. "Why?" the old man asked. He tucked his straw hat off and began eating an orange. "I don't know why." He looked at the man. His stomach roared as the man ate. Luffy smiled and handed half of the orange to Naruto. "The people of my village hate me," he added, eating the orange quickly. And Luffy smiled sadly. "I see." He handed Naruto a orange. "Do you want to hear a story of me in my younger days?" he asked. Naruto smiled. "Sure, old man." For the rest of the day, Luffy talked and told Naruto about his adventures and dreams, holding Naruto's attention with stories of adventures and his crew and how he became king of the pirates. His fights with many strange and powerful pirates. Luffy smiled as the boy began to act out the story. So Luffy stops and says, "Naruto, do you want the power to defend yourself?" Luffy had his straw hat off and put it on top of Naruto's head. Naruto looked up from underneath the hat and nodded. Luffy smiled and dug into his bag. Naruto watched as he pulled out a large purple fruit. And the man grins. "It's called the gum gum fruit," Luffy explained. Naruto looked at the strange purple fruit and he looked up at the old man. He swallowed the fruit whole. He nearly puked at the rubber tasting fruit. Luffy laughed heartily at the young blonde. "Here, this will help you with your powers you have received," he told Naruto. Luffy handed Naruto a small, leather-bound book. Naruto stood up and began the down the path. Naruto jumped and yelled, "Hey, old man, where are you going?" And Luffy answered back simply, "Back to my wife." Naruto began to watch the man disappear. The sun began to peek over the tree on Naruto's side. It's a new day. It's time to start my journey to become a Hokage, he explained, throwing his hands in the air. Naruto felt a strange sensation pass over him as his arms began to stretch in the air, and Naruto says, "What the?" Naruto screams echo loudly. 1 year later, Naruto was standing in the training field. He was snapping his arms lightning fast, stretching across the field and slamming into a mannequin. His hand snapped back and he immediately spun his wrist. Gum gum drill, he exclaimed loudly, throwing his fist forwards. His fist spun and slammed into the mannequin. His spinning fist immediately seared through the mannequin. Naruto snapped his wrist back and smiled before yelling loudly. His first raw from the friction, Naruto bounced from foot to foot, blowing on his fist. Never again, he cried. Naruto didn't notice a deep green spandex suit with a large grin watching him. A red-eyed teen and a silver-haired man shook their head. Naruto has the flames of youth that are burning brightly, the man roared joyously. Quit, guy. The man's comrades snapped in unison. Sorry, my nose is stuffy, guys. Bear with me. 1 year later, Naruto was dodging wild haymakers swung by classmates. He smirked when he sees an opening. Rapid fire! Naruto exclaimed, jumping in the air and sending his rubber arms into the air and sent his rubber arms towards the shot boy. Naruto's classmates threw up his hands to defend himself, but was propelled backwards from the fist. Naruto smiled as the boy flew out of the white circle unconscious, rolled unconscious to Haruka's feet. Naruto swung the hat confidently on his outstretched fingers, which is Luffy's straw hat, if you don't know. 1 year later, Naruto was moving quickly, swinging his arms in lightning fast movement. He suddenly snapped a large knife out of one of his pockets and threw it. He was sweating and breathing deeply. He took his straw hat off his head, and Naruto sighed loudly as the moon glinted over the small pond. Naruto swung his arms and stretched his arm and jumped into the tree. He was moving quickly. Then Naruto stopped abruptly as he heard a loud crack of a slap. Quit it, brat, a man hissed loudly. Naruto looked towards the voice and moved slower. Naruto glared at the man carrying a small girl. The man was thick, wearing a pure green, and the little girl had was a small blue hair, a girl with a bowl cut and a white kimono. Her eyes were pure white. The, the man slapped the thrashing girl again. I said quiet. Naruto jumped off the thick branch and yelled or exclaimed, Gum, gum, rapid fire! The man whipped around just to take four blurred punches to the gut, released the girl, grabbed his belly, and yelled in pain. Naruto landed and swung his fist. Gum, gum, drill! Naruto swung. The man screamed in agony as the fist dug into his belly. Gum, gum, wrecking ball! Naruto finished blowing his fist into his left hand. The hand grew the size of a bowling ball. He punched the man into a tree trunk with a large, loud bang. Naruto's arms went back into their normal state. He fell onto his breath, breathing deeply. He glanced at the wide-eyed girl. Are you okay? And she says, I'm fine, whispered quietly. Naruto jumped and let the girl in the eyes. He gasped, Hey, are you Hinata Hyuga? She was deep red Naruto. Suddenly, Naruto felt searing pain over his back, but for seeing a flash of white, he numbly fell onto the ground. Father, Naruto saved me, he not exclaimed. The tall white-eyed Hyuga looked down at the blonde withering on the ground. Naruto was standing defiantly in front of him. How did he save you? The man rumbled. He used his bloodline ability, she said. Hayashi Hyuga picked a boy Let's go. We have to take the boy to Haki-sama. He grabbed the collar of the unconscious man against the tree and dragged him along, fighting the urge to kill the man's life. The gray old man was woken up when Hayashi Hyuga was was carrying Naruto in one arm and was dragging a Kuma warrior in the other. Hinata followed timidly behind him. Hake-sama, Hayashi greeted. Kuma attempted to take Hinata, told the Hawkins calmly. He then dropped Naruto on the couch and flicked his finger. Hinata sat beside the unconscious boy. Uzumaki defeated the man and saved Hinata. The old man sighed loudly. Hayashi watched the old man rub his temple. So do you wish action for the attempt on your daughter? And Hayashi sure shook his head. I do not wish another war, but I do want something from me. That something that me and Minato spoke a year before his death. 1 year later, the blonde-haired boy was running through the street loudly. Naruto and Jonin screamed from behind him. Naruto swung his fist, which stretched around the top of the roof. He yelled, "Gum, gum, grappling hook!" He shot himself into the air. The Jonin then looked up and shook his head. Naruto, he sighed. 1 year later, Naruto was bouncing through the tree line happily. His legs were stretching when he would and reach a gap that he would cross. His straw hat was bouncing as he jumped. His hands were bound tightly into bandages as he heard a large, loud crash. Dang, she's tougher than she looks, he heard a loud growl. Naruto changed his trajectory and slingshot towards the voices. He stopped abruptly, landing on a thick branch. Four men were pinning a black-haired girl with red eyes. Naruto eyed the red girl. His eyes were full of hearts before becoming determined as the teenagers were trying to tug off his suit. Hey, stop it now, Naruto ordered loudly. The four men whipped around and nearly bust out laughing. A short, blonde-haired boy wearing a worn-out straw hat. He had a bright orange vest, which showed his skinny arms. His deep blue pants were blowing in the wind. And the largest man laughed. "Who are you supposed to be?" he asked jokingly. Naruto put his hand on his hip and exclaimed, "I am Naruto Uzumaki, and I'm going to become the greatest Hokage." The four looked at each other and said, "Get him." Naruto froze. He didn't realize that he could be outclassed. Naruto swung his fist lightning fast, slowing down their assault on him. He then jumped in the air, stretching his legs. The four stopped and watched in awe as he sailed through the air. He grabbed onto the woman's hip and pulled her towards him. He jaggedly moved forward. And suddenly a thin wire wrapped itself around his leg. Oh man, he yelled as the two thrashed into the ground. The teenage girl jumped in quick attack now. I have him in a genjutsu. She ordered quickly. Naruto reacted immediately. He then blew air into his thumbs and roared, "Gum, gum, cannonball!" The four thugs' eyes widened as the large fish slammed into the center of their bellies. The group flew away from Naruto. "Come on," Naruto called out. The four were rolling on the ground. Suddenly, a puff of smoke cleaned up the clearing. The thugs were replaced with a silver-haired man and a bowl cut and a purple-haired teen and a black-haired man with wild beard. Holy crap! Kakashi, how did a Shawnee pack that much punch? The purple-haired girl gasped loudly. The silver-haired man rubbed the bright red mark in the center of his chest. "I don't know," he grunted. The bowl-cut man jumped out and took a violent stance. "Naruto youthfulness sears bright like our sun," he roared. "Shut it, guy," his three comrades roared. Naruto was jogging next to the female. She suddenly turned and turned. "I'm Kurenai Yuhi," she introduced himself. "So what was that thing with your leg?" she asked finally as they continued down the path. Naruto let out a huge laugh and jumped in front of her. He smiled and tugged his cheek, stretching much farther than naturally possible. "I'm the Konoha Rubber Man," his voice garbled. Kurenai laughed silently. as the boy showed off his rubber. Rubber, she laughed. Naruto nodded and vowed, yep. And with these powers, I'll become the greatest Hokage ever. He jumped up and threw his arms and legs stretching across the dirt path. Kura and I watched Naruto bound up and down the path quickly. Maybe one day, Naruto, she told him. Naruto stopped abruptly as tears came to his eyes, and Naruto ran and jumped, shot into the ninja's arms. No one has ever believed in my dream, he cried, hugging Kurenai tightly. He suddenly re, released her and said boldly, then you'll be my wife when I become Hokage. And she watched the boy disappear down the path. Kurenai sighed, yeah, right. 1 year later, Naruto was standing as he did a flurry of hand signs. Clone Jutsu, a feeble, white, dead-looking clone appeared beside Naruto. Iruka sighed as the students laughed. Maybe next time, Naruto. He watched Naruto swing his fist into the wall besides the door, leaving a large dent. So much potential he felt the dent, but needs more control. Naruto sighed as he jumped onto a rooftop and started running into the village. 1 year later, Naruto was snoring. Was his black was bunched up like his black backpack was bunched up. He suddenly felt a pair of hands grab him, and a pair of red eyes locked with his blue ones. What are you doing? She exclaimed. Hurry! You need to work on your clone jutsu. She exclaimed. Naruto glared, and as his self-proclaimed fiance, fine, he groaned, pulling himself out of her grip. She watched Naruto reach down and pull the blue shirt from the ground and sniffed. Does it smell? Her kunai winced. He pushed the t-shirt in her face and asked, does it smell? And Kunai did a double take and exclaimed, Naruto, get your dirty shirt off my face. Naruto threw it to the ground and walked around the dirty room. How about this t-shirt? As he threw it at Kunai's face. Naruto, I'm not your mother, she said, throwing the t-shirt back at his mouth at the blonde. Naruto sighed. Fine. He put on the third blue shirt and grabbed his vest. 3. Happy, he taunted. She was across the room, kicking close into his laundry into a pile. Do we need to go over cleanliness again? She countered. Naruto shook his head. No. He then looked at the laundry. Can I use your laundry machine? He smiled and looked up and gave her a puppy dog eye. Please, Kurenai-chan, he whimpered. Kurenai hit him. Yes, but don't do that ever again, she said. Naruto jumped up and down and did a heel clicker. Yes! He then grabbed her wrist, and now it's time to learn the clone jutsu. Across the ninja village, an old man wearing a bright red and white suit was watching Naruto drag the Jonin across the village quickly. A group of Jonin were watching. The old man sighed. So this is why Kurenai didn't come. The Hokages couldn't help but have a small smile. Okay, Kakashi, he ordered calmly. The silver-haired Jonin cleared his throat and said, Inazuka Kiba, Haruno Sakura, and Uchiha Sasuke, he answered calmly. The Hokage nodded his head. Okay, I agree. The group slowly went through the list of the Genin candidates. Miles away in the forest, Naruto and Kura and I were working. Each clone looked nearly dead. Why can't I do this? He screamed. And Kura and I patted his back and replied, you need better chakra control. She looked at the clone buffer sign. Naruto, I'm going to teach you an extremely dangerous jutsu. Naruto jumped up and down and looked at her hurriedly. Let's go, Kurenai-chan. Naruto watched as she moved slowly through a variation of a clone jutsu. Shadow clone jutsu, she went slightly. Naruto watched as around 2 clones appeared. What's this? He snapped loudly. It's a clone jutsu. Suddenly a clone touched his forehead and Naruto nearly screamed, it's solid. The clone laughed and explained, the Shadow Clone Jutsu takes more chakra, which means your massive chakra reserves will be much more than satisfied. Naruto nodded. Now copy what I did. Naruto sparked as he put his hands together. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Kara and I watched the entire paddock of the place get covered in white smoke. Hey, Kunai-chan, as 100 Naruto clones voice echoed through the paddock. And her eyes widened as she moved her hand from clone to clone. Naruto, she yelled, and started to punch the clones. And Naruto dispersed the clones, and Kunai grabbed onto wire. Kunai grabbed onto Naruto. What's the matter, Sensei? He asked. How are you feeling? She asked that desperately, and Naruto put away, looking down. I'm fine. Why? Naruto studied worriedly. She looked down, shocked at the blonde. Naruto, the Shadow Clone Jutsu splits equal amounts of chakra throughout all the clones. She turned on Naruto, quickly walked around him. Naruto said, well, I'm going for ramen. His stomach roared in agreement. Bye, Sensei. Her and I watched Naruto run down the path after she lost view, and she muttered, how much chakra does he have? Naruto was sleeping soundly. The dreams were of the red-eyed woman. Four shadow clones were watching him, and the only woman in the group growled hatefully. So this is the rubber kid. She was standing over him and whispered, "He doesn't look so special." The six-armed man pulled the girl away. Orochimaru-sama wants him. Suddenly, the forefoot of blade touched their neck, sounding, a female in a cat mask said. In shock, grab Naruto. Hey, take him to Kurenai. She'll protect him. The cat mask female ordered calmly. The fifth ninja grabbed Naruto and the swirl leaves and disappeared. So are you gonna kill us now? The female sound ninja taunted. As then she was able to get the envoy off of her comrade, and then they run out the and then they're about to jump out the window, and then the female red hair taunted, maybe next time. Beep. Yeah, I'm censoring that because I don't know. Yeah. So see you guys. Yeah. And this is what's her name? Well, it's censored in like the thing, and so yeah, and so maybe next time, yeah. And so the four sounding ran out of Konoha. The group was angry. Kimamaru would not be happy that we failed Orochimaru Sama. The female growled loudly. We'll get the kid soon enough. The two-headed man hissed. Naruto whipped his head around as the Anbu flew roof to roof. What, he groaned in his half asleep state. He suddenly felt the sensation of dropping. The Anbu remained silent as he banged on the door. What's the matter? Kunai groaned as she opened up the door. And then she finally caught sight of the blonde and immediately asked, what happened? The Hokage will tell you tomorrow, the Anbu answered, but for disappearing in the swirling leaves. Kunai grabbed Naruto. She threw a pillow and a blanket from the closet. You know where the couch is. Good night. Naruto stumbled onto the couch and crouched down. The next morning, Naruto was sitting in his desk at the academy, wearing his footy pajamas and his straw hat. Haruka's tight as his eyes went over the blonde's appearance. As you know, today is your final day at the academy. Your final grade will be by a short written exam and a 3-part taijutsu, weapons, and ninjutsu exam, he told the class. Naruto steered through the first part of the exam, passing 51 on his exam. He had to of course got top of the class in the taijutsu portion of his exam, using his trademark brawling style. He once again struggled with his weapons. They were worn out and dull. He finally came to. We've been here twice, Naruto. Now you know what to do, Iruka told Naruto calmly. And Naruto put his hands together. Sexy, Iruka froze. And Naruto went to change, he exclaimed. As Naruto in a poof of smoke, Iruka appeared. And from smoke, and from the smoke, it was a perfect copy of Iruka standing in front of the original. Iruka clapped. Good work, Naruto, but I have to ask you. It looked like you're going to do your sexy jutsu. Why did you stop? The brown skinned teacher asked. I did it in front of Kurna Sensei, and I spent the next 10 hours running through a pack of genjutsu induced dogs. Iruka attempted not to laugh at Naruto's frightened expression, but he said, okay, Naruto, Next up is the reason why you fell last time, clone jutsu. And the second teacher watches shot as the demon brat is passing his exam. Naruto began to do hand signs for the jutsu. Iruka, can I can I use a variation of the jutsu? He asked. Iruka nodded, and Naruto exclaimed, "Multi Shadow Clone Jutsu!" As ten clones of Naruto appeared in front of Iruka. As his jaw dropped, Iruka got up shakily as he touched the forehead of each shadow clones of each straw hat wearing clone. Naruto, where did you learn this? He whispered. Kurenai Sensei thought I might be overloading my clones with chakra, and since the shadow clones takes more chakra, she figured it would come easier for me than the regular. So I personally came up with multi shadow clone jutsu. Naruto exclaimed proudly. No, and the Hokage smiled. Team 8 is complete, he whispered to himself. Naruto grinned proudly, and he took one of the leaf headbands from his neck and made his way to Naruto. Well, congratulations, Naruto. And Naruto shakily took his headband as he took the worn out straw hat from his head and tied it to the headband to the base of the straw hat and exclaimed, "I'm Jinin!" He grabbed Iruka and exclaimed, I, Ichiraku Ramen, you're buying. And Iruka sighed fine tonight. Yeehaw! He roared. And Mizuki growled in frustration. How did he pass? Naruto was smiling, sailing towards the Hokage Tower. Lee, go, go get him. Naruto whipped around. Two people in matched green suits were standing behind him in the matching poses. A strange flame seemed to burn in their eyes. Yes, guys, Sensei roared loudly. The the shorter green wearing boy charged at Naruto, his bowl cut glinting in the sunlight. Leaf hurricane, the boy spun, lightning fast, kicking Naruto in the belly. Then with his left foot kicked Naruto in the ribs, effectively not knock him to the ground. What's that? Naruto yelled, John jumping to his feet. Lee threw his arms in front of him and yelled, Our youthful fight will be the stuff of the legends. What, he questioned? But the boy rushed him finally. When a fight, Naruto expanded his fist and started trading haymakers. Guy continued to watch the two fight. Lee was kicking more often, but Naruto's durability seemed to counter the advantage. Lee smirked and then swung and took a strong hook right at each other's face. Lee jumped back and laughed. Naruto-kun, let let's spar again sometime. Lee then took both of his hands on his hip and laughed. Our youthful taijutsu will show everyone why we're splendid ninja. And Naruto sighed, okay, whatever. Naruto immediately realized what he said something wrong as the fire lit in Guy in Lee's eyes. Lee, his cool attitude is like my eternal rival Kakashi. Yes, Guy Sensei, Lee explained. Lee, we found you an eternal rival. Yes, Naruto-kun, it is my truly eternal rival, Lee roared. If I do not beat you in our next spar, I will run my hands around Konoha 50 times. Lee got his fighting stance and put his left hand in front of his body. And Naruto whipped around and ran as the Genin and clad. I just want to see the old man, he screams. And Kurenai was reading her genitive. Why did I get Naruto, she says. The Hokage's route went up. I thought you would want your blonde ball of energy. Nobody wanted him, Kurenai guessed. The old man sighed loudly. Yes, if they only saw the potential he has. Kurenai shook his head. Well, his skill set clearly doesn't suit me. He's a taijutsu fighter, she told him. I already spoken to my guy, and he agreed to train him if Kurenai cut in if he passes his test. Sansa and Naruto flew into the office, pouring a sweat. Get them, old man, Naruto explained as Lee bowed, sweating slightly as Naruto jumped behind Kurenai and shoved her. Take him out with some of that genjutsu, Naruto ordered. No, Naruto, she said calmly. Come on, you're my wife to be, and you, she began, but was cut off as Guy charged in and roared, joyously, Kurenai-chan, you're getting married? Congratulations. I must say, I never thought that Naruto would become your husband. Kurenai was getting more and more irritated as Guy continued his speech to Naruto. She whispered too calmly. Naruto jumped away from her as a dark aura surrounded her. "Protect me, old man!" Naruto yelled. He dove over the decks, but the woman but the woman grabbed him from the back of his orange vest. The Hokage watched Kurenai drag Naruto out of his office as the boy yells, "Don't let her take me! Don't let her take me!" As this is the end of this part, Naruto is getting trained. Well, Naruto is part of Kurenai's team and will be trained by Might Guy. And the next part, we have to get 50 likes. Yes, you heard it. 50 likes. And yeah, and if so, it'll probably be like 2, maybe 3 weeks due to me having to make part 2s for some other what ifs, but it will be in the in the future. And so yeah, see you guys later, and yeah. Hey guys, this is a new affiliate thing. So yeah, go to Razer.com for more for gear, for mobile stuff like games and stuff. So yeah, go to my affiliate link down below and you could get it. Yeah, and yeah, go there. Why not? Get PCs, consoles, mobile chairs, whatever you want. So yeah, hope you guys like it, and see you later in the video.
第一戦開始。捕まえたよ。甘いよ。こういう遅いね。勝負あり。第2戦開始。そうだ。捕まえたよ。禁じて仕込みます。捕まえたよ。これからだ。 第一戦開始。
今ね。今ね。残念でした。今ね。残念でした。今ね。引くわ。今ね。引くわ。今ね。今ね。
無駄そうだ
今ね。残念でした。引くわ。
第二戦開始。
今ね。残念でした。
捕まえたよ。これからだ。
今ね。こんな。
第一戦開始。
いけ。そこだ。そこだ。物は使いよ。そうだ。そうだ。一旦用水だ。そこだ。そうだ。そうだ。
第二戦開始。
いけそこだ。あ、よっと甘いね。あっ 旦用水だ。いける。遅いね。覚悟してくださいね。そうだ。そうだ。そうだ。そうだ。そうだ。そうだ。チャクラム。そうだ。チャクラム。一旦用水だ。そこだ。一旦用水だ。一旦用水だ。そうだ。甘い。そうだ。そうだ。そこだ。一旦用水だ。そうだ。捕まえたよ。やっやっ。そこだ。まあいい。甘いよ。用水だ。いける。遅い。信じて仕込むのだ。
終わらせてやろう。天外神聖、勝負あり。第一戦開始。
そうだ。そうだ。そうだ。捕まえたよ。やっぱそうだ。雨の上。ここだ。こっちだ。捕まえたよ。ここだ。こいつを使うか。そこか。そこか。そうだ。こっちだ。そうだ。そうだ。そうだ。
勝負あり。第二戦開始。
こっちだ。雨の上。しどい。遅いね。こっちだ。無駄。信じて仕込むのだ。
終わらせてやろう。天外神聖、
こっちだ。そうだ。無駄だ。こっちだ。そうだ。ここだ。そこか。ここだ。
第一戦開始。
そうだ。 行くぞ。捕まえたよ。チャクラン。そうだ。行くぞ。そうだ。捕まえたよ。やっ行くぞ。おっ行くぞ。甘いよ。行くぞ。行くぞ。そうだ。そうだ。そうだ。チャクラメス。
勝負あり。第2戦開始。
行くぞクラマ。行くぞ。おっと。行くぞ。これからだ。チャクラン。チャクラン。チャクラン。行くぞ。
勝負あり。最終戦開始。
捕まえたよ。禁じて仕込む。遅い。禁じて仕込む。
終わらせてやろう。天外神聖。勝負あり。